a lot of food.
What is up, everyone? It's Carmen here and welcome back to my channel. And if it is your first time, then welcome. I make videos on health and wellness and how to live a healthy lifestyle. So if that sounds interesting to you, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the bell so that you get notified every time I post a new video. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you what I picked up at the farmer's market. I went shopping at the farmer's market earlier today with my mom, and I just wanted to share with you some of the awesome things that we managed to find. Now, I love going to farmer's markets, but this time was a little bit different because I made a concerted effort during this haul to make sure that I didn't accumulate too much plastic waste. If ever you've been to the farmer's market, you'll know that each vendor wants to give you a plastic bag to kind of just put your stuff that you've purchased from them in, but oftentimes they give you really small bags and you can only just fit in what you've purchased from that vendor. And so this time I went prepared, and so I'm going to give you a few tips on what to kind of keep in mind if you want to go to a farmer's market to do your grocery shopping, and a few things that you can kind of think about if you want to make sure that you're limiting the amount of plastic waste that you produce as a result of your shopping. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, then please go ahead and keep watching. So I took a picture of everything that we bought at the farmer's market today, but now I'm going to share with you the things that I bought for myself. Remember I said that I went with my mom, so some of the stuff that we bought my family kept, but I'm going to share with you the stuff that I kept for myself. So we bought these avocados. There were 4 altogether. But this is an example of something that probably wouldn't make it to a supermarket shelf. Often the food that we find on supermarket shelves is really perfect looking, and these avocados are very far from perfect looking. In fact, this one, I didn't realize when I bought it, has quite a big bruise on this side. But just bear in mind, if you are going shopping at a farmer's market, you are going to see some very interesting, imperfect looking food. But the interesting thing about that is that supermarkets often reject that food even though it tastes exactly the same as the perfect food that they have on the shelves. Now we picked up these huge, I think they're bananas, but I also thought that they might have been plantains, but when I looked up plantains, they didn't quite look like this. Plantains actually looked a little bit thinner and longer than these. These are really short, very stubby bananas, and I'm really not sure what their proper name is, but they're definitely a lot firmer than regular bananas, and they're absolutely delicious if you fry them. So if you kind of roll them in some batter, or even if you just pop them straight onto the frying pan, they're absolutely delicious when fried, and they hold up really nicely because they're nice and firm. And then I bought loads of garlic. I often use garlic in my cooking, and I tend to buy those little tubs of garlic, the crushed garlic. And so since I've been trying to reduce my plastic waste, I thought that I would buy a ton of garlic and then just mince it myself. So garlic, we bought lots of that. And then we bought lots of these little sticky mangoes. When I was growing up, we used to make a little mix with curry powder, salt, sugar, and vinegar, mix it up, and then cut these little guys and dip them into the mixture and eat them. They are so tart and so sour, but I absolutely love them. Just thinking about that is making my mouth water right now. So these are, I'm gonna totally enjoy these. Now, I didn't mention that the market that I went to is called the Bangladesh market, and it is in Chatsworth here in Durban. I love beetroots, I love roasting them, I love putting them in smoothies. So it looks like I only ended up with 2, but we bought some beetroot at the market. Sweet potatoes. So as you can see again, these are very imperfect looking sweet potatoes, but they are going to taste absolutely awesome if you roast them in some cinnamon. Oh, roasted sweet potato with cinnamon is absolutely delicious. And then I am a spuddy buddy. I absolutely love potatoes, so I got lots of potatoes. There was also lots of citrus available at the market, and I picked up these lemons. They look like lemons, although the lady said that they were limes. To me, they look like lemons. Maybe they're somewhere between lemons and limes, but I got a bunch of those as well. And then we got lots and lots of chilies. I absolutely love spicy food. In fact, if food doesn't have some kind of spice in it, some kind of heat, I actually find it quite boring and uninteresting to eat. So I love putting chilies in my food. I did buy a lot of them, so I am going to infuse some oil, some olive oil with the chilies as well. Onions! So one of the tips that I can give you if you are going to the farmer's market and if you are wanting to make sure that you're not generating too much waste, then you definitely should go prepared. So maybe you don't have one of these produce bags, but whenever you go to a store, you will get one of these produce bags. Let me see if I can find one. Yeah, one of these. So you can either take one of these with you, or you can even take brown bags. Brown paper bags work really, really well. And one of the things that is very easy to do is to ask the vendors if they have already pre-packed their goods into little plastic bags. You can just ask them to open the bag and pour out the contents into either your brown bags, your produce bag, or a plastic bag. To be honest, a lot of them were grateful whenever I asked them to do that because they were like, oh, I'm saving on bags. So that's a tip for you if ever you find yourself in a situation where the vendor has already pre-packaged goods into a plastic bag. I bought 3 coconuts as well. One of the things that I've really been wanting to try is to make coconut milk. And so I am gonna milk these coconuts one of these days. I'm actually a little bit nervous about opening them. The vendor that I bought them from gave me some advice about how I could go about getting the coconut water out first and then going ahead and cracking it afterwards. I don't know, I feel a little bit nervous about that, but I'm super excited to see how this goes, yeah. And then I bought these 2 heads of cauliflower. Cauliflower is one of my favorite vegetables. I also love cauliflower steak. I like cauliflower on the braai, cauliflower curry. I really just enjoy cauliflower, so. And then before broccoli gets jealous of my love for cauliflower, I bought this broccoli. I absolutely love broccoli as well. And then I got these pineapples. Now they did have the little tops on them, but they're actually quite easy to grow, and my dad has a veggie garden, so I broke them off and gave them to him so that he can grow them in his veggie garden. But I struggle to eat lots of pineapple at one go. I often find that if I slice up pineapple, especially if it's a little bit on the sour side, I struggle to eat many slices of them. Kind of make my teeth go on edge. But what I do with them is I peel them, cut them up, and then freeze them, and then use pineapple in smoothies. So if you don't like the taste of banana in your smoothies, then you can substitute the frozen banana for frozen pineapple. And if you try it, let me know how it goes. I also picked up some citrus fruit. This is quite weird looking citrus fruit. I'm not actually sure what they are, whether they are magnolias or nachis or whatever. They're just really yummy, so I got a few of these. I also got a few regular bananas, and I made sure that they were overripe because I like to freeze them when they're overripe and use them in my smoothies. I also like to make nice cream out of them. If you want a recipe for that, then let me know in the comment section below, and I will make a video on how I make my nice cream. And then I got this giant ginger. Oh my goodness, this thing is huge. I'm so excited to mince all of this up, or blitz it rather, in my blender, so that I can store it in the fridge and kind of just use it whenever I need to. But again, I did used to purchase little thumbs of ginger, but sometimes you buy the ginger that's already crushed in a little container. So I'm trying to avoid doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and mince my ginger on my own. And there's gonna be a lot of ginger. And then I picked up some spring onion, which is not very appealing looking, but the reason why I bought it is not only to use the spring onion, but also to plant it, because I really want to start a herb garden. And so I decided that I would just purchase this and plant it so that I can get more and more and more spring onion. And then I also bought some mint. This is absolutely gorgeous smelling fresh mint. Oof, nice. I also got lots of these little eggplants. Some people call them aubergines, some people call them brinjals. You're probably used to seeing them much bigger than this, but apparently the small ones are really, really tasty. So I'm looking forward to making a aubergine curry with these. Then I also got some turmeric as well. I also love to add turmeric in my cooking. I do use the powdered turmeric as well, but it's really nice to have some fresh turmeric also. So we actually did really, really well, except for a few things that we bought that we couldn't escape the plastic. So some of those things include beans. Unfortunately, the beans that we purchased were already pre-packaged. We didn't realize that on another stall there was a guy selling unpackaged beans. So that's another tip that I have for you. If you are going to a farmer's market, I would suggest that you take a walk around the market first and see everything that is available before you purchase anything. So aside from the beans, the carrots that we purchased were also in packaging, and again there were some other carrots that were not in packaging. And then I bought this cinnamon, which is also unfortunately in a plastic packet. They did not have any unpackaged cinnamon anywhere, but I really have been wanting to get hold of some cinnamon sticks and just seem to forget whenever I go into the store. But this cinnamon looks like really solid. So I'm really excited that I managed to pick up some cinnamon. I'm looking forward to making some cinnamon tea with it. I also bought this rosemary plant. Like I said earlier, I'm looking to start a herb garden. I generally tend to do really, really badly with plants. I somehow just have a knack that all the plants that I touch end up dying. So I don't know how this herb garden thing is going to go, so wish me luck. Hopefully I'll be able to post an update on that. But I also bought this rosemary plant. Great for roasting vegetables and making things like shepherd's pie, or as we call it, cottage pie. I make my cottage pie with lentils instead of mince. So I'm really looking forward to planting that rosemary plant as well. And then the star of the show was this jackfruit that I bought. Oh my goodness, when I saw them, I was like, I really think I should challenge myself and buy a jackfruit and make some kind of dish with jackfruit in it. So when I was working on the ships, I used to work with lots of awesome people from the Philippines, and they would bring, often whenever they came back from vacation, when they came back on board, they would bring little bags of jackfruit chips, and I loved jackfruit chips. But jackfruit is really coming in vogue at the moment because for people who follow a plant-based diet, jackfruit is an excellent meat substitute. And so one of the things that I would also suggest when you are shopping at a farmer's market is to speak to the vendors and ask for their advice. Find out a little bit about the food that you are purchasing, because it can be a really interesting experience. So the guy who I bought this from said that if you're going to use jackfruit as a meat substitute, that you should buy a green jackfruit because it doesn't have that like sweet taste like the jackfruit chips that I used to eat from the Philippines. And so he also gave me advice on how I could easily peel this, because it's interesting, even as I'm holding it, I can feel that there's a very sticky substance on this jackfruit. And I watched one of the guys in the market actually breaking the jackfruit down, cutting it up and peeling it, and his hands were full of jackfruit skin. So he gave me some advice on how to cook this jackfruit and actually how to peel it without getting all of that stuff on my hands. So I don't know, what do you guys think? Have you ever tried, have you ever cooked a whole jackfruit? Let me know in the comment section below. And also let me know if you know of any jackfruit recipes, because I've got a whole lot of jackfruit here. Actually, this one isn't as big as some of the other ones they had in the market, but I am looking forward to trying out some recipes with jackfruit as a meat alternative. And when I do, I'll definitely let you guys know. So this is all the stuff that I bought. All together, The stuff that we bought cost about 700 Rand, but correction, it's Future Carmen here, and I just did a recalculation of what we spent, and the total amount that we spent for the vegetables and the fruit that we bought was 580 Rand. The rosemary plants were 50 bucks, and we also paid for other things like, for example, the car guard, our assistant who was helping us during our shopping experience in the market, who pushed our trolley around, as well as some other assistants that didn't necessarily help us but needed a donation. So 580 is the official final figure for all the fruit and vegetables that we bought. So all in all, I think that this is a lot of food for the money that we paid. So I think that we did really well with regards to trying to reduce the amount of plastic that we generated as a result of this shopping experience. I did take a lot of big grocery bags like this one, and I also reused some old shopping bags as well, some plastic ones. So that's another idea. And then I mentioned the produce bags as well, and then we also use brown paper bags. And my advice is really just to go prepared with as many bags as you possibly can get. And then also have a budget before you go so that you don't blow all your money, because it can really get quite overwhelming. You know, you kind of go from stall to stall and you're like, oh, I want this and oh, I want that. So we went in with a budget. We had a set amount of money. The other thing is that you must carry cash with you when you go to farmers markets, because most of the farmers markets, in fact every store at the market that I went to, but at most farmers markets, they do not accept cards for your purchases. So let me know which is your favorite item out of everything that I bought today. Let me know in the comment section below. And if you have any recipes that you think that I should try, also please leave them in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos on health and wellness and how to live a healthy lifestyle. Until next time guys, take care of yourselves. Bye.